A very good afternoon to all our viewers. You are watching www.ThePapare.com and this is Singer Schools Rugby League 2016 and the game today St. Peter's College hosting Kingswood College here at their own den, Bambalapitiya grounds. So this is the match number 5 of segment 1A. There are two segments, remember, 1A and of course 1B. And of course today's match will be refereed by Mr. ThePapare. Also, we were witnessing another game yesterday. Before we go to the team cards, in fact, I have the team cards now with me. St. Peter's College, as you can see on your screen, Danushka Dasanayaka, Ravi Nyapa, who played last year as well, and Rahul Dilpachitra, the tight head prop forward who was outstanding last year. And he was also making way for the Sri Lanka under-20s. And Ashan Mendes, Shane Gurusingha, Tikshana Dasanayaka, Narendra Pereira, Senura Premavardhana, the players to look forward in the back row. And also Avishka Heenpalla, he will be a key player today in terms of decision making, the scrum half. And Sivaraj Stephen, Takshina Nonis and Harin Bianwala. Of course, the blind wing and the inside centre. Interestingly, Diath Fernando is playing as an outside centre. He was a speedster. He was made a huge impact in the concluded All Ireland Sevens tournament in the second day. And he's playing in the outside centre. And of course, Captain Sandesh Jayavikrama, who scored 50 points last season with 1 try, 15 conversion and 5 penalties. And of course, he will be a key player in terms of decision making. Here we go with the Kingswood team card, and as you can see, Kasun Vijay Surya, Madhushan Taraka, Lakshan, Akila Madhusanka, Chamar Vijay Surya, Mohammad Aflal, Shannon Veerasekara, Shenesh Kavishka, who played the little number 8. He was outstanding last year as well, made some good tries, and Heshan Shannon, Shivanta Ranavira, Imesh Sirivardhana, Tarindu Malinga, Ravinda Udayagalvida, Mohod Rishad, in fact it should be Mohammad Rishad, and Buddhika Nishanta is the fullback, and Kingswood College captained by Ravinath Udagalapitiava. The outside centre, very good ball carrier. We saw him playing in the sevens as well, where they beat Trinity College in the Cup quarter-final. They were quite unfortunate to lose in the Cup semi-finals. But that was in a game of sevens. It's all different. It's a season here. The very first game. Everyone will be looking forward to this game after spending so much time in the pre-season training, starting from September, October, November. There's like 4 or 5 months of training. And the weather condition is really tailor-made for the rugby. Although it's a little humid, we never know which time whether the rain will come to this ground. And also joining me in the commentary box, it's none other than the famous voice, Shaki. Is that right, Mr. Chandrashan Pereira?
Thank you very much, Sabs, mate. Yes, well, they call me all sorts of things. I can't share some of it, but let's certainly go down. St. Peter's Kingswood College, the big one at Bamba. Why, the numbers are streaming through the gates because gate number 1 has been closed and there's the Peter's side coming through. We just got a shot of the Reverend Father Rector and all the officials and the St. Peter's management in here. The boys, Subs, this is, as you said, a very critical start because it depends on a lot of things. I mean, a long season, long preseason, lots of hard work put in. Now, 18 minutes, show and tell.
Absolutely, indeed, without doubt. But the thing is, quite sadly or quite surprisingly, St. Peter's could not make an impact last year. Although their few players made some great impact. In fact, Kevin Dixon, who captained the national 7th team, and Nishan Pereira was outstanding. And later on, Shamri Bura also made some impact to Havelock Sports Club. But although they didn't perform as a team, but individual performance was there. But today it won't happen because they need a team performance.
Well, yes, I mean, all the considerations, there's been a few things going on with the management and all those things, but right now it's about the boys in the middle, the 15 coming out. It's going to be absolutely outstanding in terms of performance because they're playing at home. And Subs, when you play at home in front of your home crowd, everything. It's an all or nothing theory for St. Peter's. They're passionate about their rugby, and as you correctly said, it's been 2 or 3 seasons that they really haven't jumped the mark, and they are looking forward to it. Kingswood, for their part, very rich stable from Kandy. You know, the Randall Hills boys, they understand rugby more than anybody else. Rugby started up pretty much in that part of the world. So another proud school. And this Singer Schools League Cup, it's the richest in the history of Sri Lanka's sport. It's brilliant. It's the most patronized. We talked about it. We met at the Singer League Awards from last year. Today, when you see the colors, lots of pride for the boys. And for everybody watching this broadcast around the world on the stream, you need to be texting your mates, WhatsApping them and telling them, hey, the game, Bamba, St. Peter's, Kingswood, catch it live on ThePapare.com.
It's all set as referee Kabir is blow the whistle in the middle. Clearly showing early note, but that was taken nicely by Rahan.
And I think, that early ball looked like number 2, Jalpachitra, was going to get away, but the referee had seen the infringement. So scrum, first scrum, and you can imagine what it's like in that front row. The boys just itching, absolutely. Here we go. Have to follow the code. Set. Boom. Nice. Tight. Good angle. Good body position. St. Peter's get the shove on. But Kingswood managed to get it away. Initial. Nice to see first phase ball. Running at the threes. Setting up again. Nicely back. Well, this is good from Kingswood, just keeping it simple. Running their big lads, just getting them clattered up. Always good to just get the hits in. Adjust the body and the temperature. And oh, well, that was a terrible pass. And St. Peter's, a chance. All right, here we go. Opportunity for St. Peter's. They could have made a little bit more of that, but just booting it down the park and seeing what they could do with it. They win a line out for their effort. Good deal.
I like the fact that Shenesh, the little number 8, Shenesh Kaushika, he was so mobile. He doesn't look like a number 8, maybe a little bit like a hooker. But he came late into the starting line last season, I remember, and he scored some marvelous tries. But this time it's a lovely line out taken by St. Peter's. There goes the big number 8. That's Kaushika going into contact. Heenpalla sending it to the center. Space, open chance. Looks like a try coming up. First up try by Tarindu Malige. That's brilliant start, Sean.
Absolutely wonderful start for St. Peter's. Just so simple. Just shows what you can do if you get good ball and you're running straight, and that's what you want. Early morning, St. Peter's at Bamba, home turf, in front of their home crowd. Get the first fifer, and it is absolutely wonderful. If you look at the replay, it is absolutely simple, and that's perhaps the key to a lot of coaches try to complicate a lot of things. Line out ball, keep it simple, good hands, running at pace, running lines nice and clean. Thank you very much.
I'm really sorry I got the name wrong. In fact, I don't have the number 12 in the team cards, which I was given by St. Peter's, sadly. So the conversion curls in and hits through. No, it's just out of the uprights. So St. Peter's leading 5 points to nil.
Well, I think Kingswood probably didn't expect that. They were just hoping that maybe they could have just settled down a little bit more. It was a good scrum from St. Peter's that started the whole process on the 50. And then just the boot through. And here we are now. So very early morning, just 3 minutes in. Could have been a good kick. I think sometimes your league or your kickers should really be a little bit sharper, because everything counts. And let's hope that this is not going to be critical. Here we go. The restart from Kingswood. Hung nicely. Well, brilliantly done there by Kingswood. They stole it. Got it back. Good possession. Here's opportunity again. Big man running hard. Always nice to see. And St. Peter's guilty. Going over and just hands on the deck, I think.
Time.
Yeah, it's always a sin bin offense when you consider penalty in the breakdowns, especially in the red zone. Looks like a injury for Peter Wright. When we talk about the Kingswood kicking last season, their skipper Reza Rafaidin, who was the highest point scorer for the Singer Schools Rugby League in 2015, scored 107 points, 10 tries, 18 conversion and 7 penalties, and he was the clear choice for Sri Lanka team as well. He played the 7s and the 15s. There are so many kickers and star players in the like of Fazil Marija and so many players, Nalaka Virakuri, that Kingswood have brought, isn't it, Sean?
Goodness, if you try to run that list, we'll be here for a very long time. Fazil, of course, Sri Lanka captain currently in both formats. Nalaka now very much the coach. He's coaching now at Kandy. Wonderful to see as well. Here's Kingswood with that conversion. Off the uprights and nobody chasing it down. Cardinal sin. Number one rule, chase the ball, whatever. And Kingswood really should have been down the park there quickly, but they still do well. Drop goal attempt. And that one is through, so they get some reward. Could have easily ended up with a 7, but they get the 3 anyway after missing the penalty, hitting the uprights.
So that's the first drop goal of the season, starting from Kingswood. That looks like Shivanta Ranavira. There's the rock. St. Peter's trying to counteract that. Well controlled. Very good support coming in. And there goes the scrum half, sending it to the fly half, number 10. That's Shivanta Ranavira. And here he goes with the beautiful luminous boots. And nailing that drop goal. So the restart here. A little fumble. Referee letting play go. Flow. That's good choice by referee Dinka Peris. Dilpa Chitra trying to go past. In fact, that's Ravi Nyapa. Once again, Dinka playing advantage. St. Peter still with the ball. Heen Palla trying to create some room. Off it, says referee Dinka Peris. So St. Peter's trying to come into opposite territory, which is good. But it's pretty much like St. Peter's forwards versus Kingswood 3s, I say.
Well, we'll find out soon enough, because right now it has looked like that. And St. Peter's doing some good graph work. They've got some big kids. And good to see them motoring up the park. Going through their responsibilities, really. Each one taking it in turn. Hitting those rucks really hard. Securing good ball. And then, of course, winning that penalty for themselves, because Kingswood really didn't have much of a choice. But I think there's some big digits on the Kingswood side too, Saab, and they look fairly efficient. You know, like you said, off-season has been good, and these kids are fairly well conditioned. There's no shortage of hard work for these lads.
It is indeed, and they also got their former coach, Colin Dinesh, to come and do the necessary treatment for them. And that kick once again out wide, so not having a good legs. That's I think Sivaraj Stephen, the fly half. He missed the conversion, now the penalty. So already St. Peter's losing 5 more points with that. We'll see how much impact it's going to add at the end of the game.
Absolutely, Saab. That is something that is a critical factor. Coaches and management and analysts take these into consideration. You've got to get your points when you get the chance. Why on earth would you not take the time and get those points? It's your chance to get some points on the board and actually put pressure, because every point is pressure for the other side.
And also, if you watch the Wesley versus Trinity game, Trinity won with the last minute try. The full time was 7-5, but Wesley, they got 2 penalties inside the 22-meter one. A straight penalty. Their fly half for the kicker didn't take the time as much as he wanted. He just took maybe 5 to 10 seconds.
Well, those are nervous legs, and you need to try and get those corrected. That comes down to the coaching and the management staff. It was an unfortunate error from the fullback there. So he's given Kingswood an opportunity on the just on the 10, on the St. Peter's 10. Recycle player coming in. Always tough, the initial first 15 minutes of the first quarter, opening the season, will always, flutters and heartbeat and butterflies in the gut and all that. But soon, once you hit these scrums a few times and you get in there and you grind the neck, all is forgotten. Hang on.
Here you go. Shannon, the brother of number 8, the little scrum half. St. Peter's opting that box kick to put the Kingswood 15 under pressure, but he was well managed, well controlled that occasion. There goes the skipper, Diaz Fernando. In fact, it's Sandesh Javikrama, I beg your pardon. Here comes the attack from Kingswood. In fact, the referee's call back for that. I think it's out on the full.
That's right. It was a good thought from the skipper. But on the run, he just a little bit of extra beef, I suppose. Just then the ball just flew into touch on the full. So back to where he kicked it from. Kingswood again a chance. So let's see how this first line-out goes for Kingswood. Months and months of drilling all come down to the requirement. Little untidy, but sorted out eventually. There's the big boys, the big digits grinding away. Nice to see. Oh, a little bit of skill. Always nice. I'm really impressed about teams that still go and have a go at the first phase rather than just try and hit up all the time. Of course, you have that as an option, but try and run the ball, keep it in the hands, use the possession as much as possible. It's not a really big secret or rocket science, but it works. There you go, Kingswood just trying to turn St. Peter's defense around. Putting some extra pressure on the fullback. And winning a line out for their effort.
Great intensity, great running pace by Kingswood. They're playing pretty much in the opposite half, which is a good sign.
Keep the gap. Whites, keep the gap.
Also, you have the wind factor. It's very overcast condition here at the St. Peter's grounds. But once again, a lovely line out throw by Madhushan Taraka, rescued by Akila Madhusanka in the air. That's the skipper going into contact. Good quick balls coming in the ruck, and once again opting to kick to put the skipper under pressure. That's Jaya Vikrama, and he was delivered into touch with his left foot.
I'm not sure Kings would need to actually kick that ball away because they've got good possession, they've got numbers on the outside, and they're running at pace. Why would you kick it away? It's maybe just a thought that the skipper has to control in that line. He's playing in the center position. So we look forward to perhaps a little bit more possession and handling from Kingswood. When you kick that ball away, St. Peter's were able to just escape again because they had numbers a little less on the right-hand side down the flank. Again, Kingswood. Referee didn't like what he saw. And St. Peter's get a penalty. They earn a penalty and get themselves out of a little bit of trouble because they're stuck inside that 22. And it looked dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, Sean, because there's no need to kick and give away the position. You're coming into the opposite red zone, keep the ball position, make few faces, and get some space out wide and score the try. That's what you have to do. And also do follow us on all our social media platforms. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Instagram.
Blue.
And all you have to do is log on to www.ThePapare.com, onto our website and also onto our Facebook page. Alright, good line out this time by St. Peter's. Oh, that's a poor pass by Sivaraj Stephen, who missed 2 kicks.
Release it, no.
He's feeling the pressure already. Looks like a turnover.
Coming from side.
No, coming through the side, says the referee Dinkapiris. Another good chance for Peter Wright to come out of jail.
Lucky getaway for St. Peter's. It was a terrible, casual, sort of nervous pass in the center there, and anything could have happened. Luckily for St. Peter's, they managed to collect that ball, but Kingswood, the defense was up really quickly. But coming in from the side, a little bit too excited perhaps, seeing the opportunity inside their 22. St. Peter's still pinned inside their 22, at least inside their 40 now. You know, and it just comes down to good leadership here. The senior players talking the game a little bit more.
Wait.
Here's
Peters,
line
you
out
must
ball.
come
Let's
in.
have a look how St. Peter's negotiate this line out. Did they get the call right? Yes, they do. Nice and clean. Oh, dreadful, dreadful pass. Rescued by the number 10 there, and done well to go back into the in traffic. Bodies all over, but St. Peter's with ball now. Nice little handoff by the number 3. Big one. Big drive by the number 3 there.
Yes, indeed. Rahul Delpachitra, who played last year as well. Building momentum. Looks like a turnover, but referee playing advantage.
Number 20.
Once again, off feet, says Dinkapiris.
Number 20.
That's quite unlucky.
Kingswood, you are here. Peters, you are here.
So here we are now for all of you joining us on ThePapare.com. Good to have your company on board. As Sabs was saying, the social media platforms pretty serious, and plenty of it too on Facebook, etc., etc.
Peters,
So you can
last
just
warning. Next time you
decide
come
what
like
you
that,
want
I'll
and what you're
penalize you.
comfortable with and what you're happy with, and then you can still get us on ThePapare.com and the live feed, streaming live from Bambalapitia, as they say. Bamba, my old place. This is where I actually went to school when I was a little toddler, a little scamp on bread and paripu and the malupan
forward,
that
no
was
advantage.
eternal.
Scrum.
Looks like St. Peter's gave away the position once again. Interesting. I didn't know you're a Peter Wright. All right. Will St. Peter's, the home team, will
Right,
they
crouch!
turn over this scrum? They have the
Fine!
power. They have the extra weight in this
Set!
scrum. Looks nice and square scrum. This is what you want to see. Looks like an early movement coming. And going sideways, referee Kabiris
step
was
out.
spot on. You have to go straight.
Going in.
Interesting. It's we are heading into 20 minutes. It's already in the first half. It's only 5 points to 3, and we also witnessed what a lovely game yesterday between Science College and St. Anthony's College. It was only 25 points to 10 in the half time in favor of Science College Mount Lavinia, and the full-time score was 40 points to
Kingswood.
28.
Peters.
And also the other games, Wesley College going down to 20 in Pallekale. That was on Friday. 7-5 was the full-time score. Royal, the defending champions, winning it
Wait.
convincingly.
Put up. Gap back.
36 points to 10 over DS Senanayaka and St. Thomas's. Looks like one of the favorites who clinched the 7th trophy as well. And that line out somehow
Not straight.
well won, but referee Dinkapur is
What do
bringing
you want?
it
Line out
back.
or scrum?
Not sure what went wrong. Maybe there's no left fine. You don't necessarily have to lift the player, but perhaps it's not straight, not really clear for the angle. Like I said, St. Thomas is winning convincingly over St. Joseph's, 32 points to 3.
Right, crouch.
Those are the stats
Fine!
in the first round so far. We also have another game
Set!
tomorrow, Isipatana versus Dharmaraja.
Break.
But that scrum, St. Peter's trying to be a
Right, boys.
little over
Scrum
enthusiastic
में
on
color
that
करना
occasion.
tight. Scrum में color not tight, right?
Well, they got to learn to settle down, really. I mean, they need
steady,
to
no scrum maker. Clear?
get
Clear?
the good set play
Seconds on the tight end.
into their minds of the big eight.
Right, crouch!
Whatever they've practiced so much, the drills,
Fine.
they've got to get that working. When they got the
Set.
opportunity inside there on
Hold it,
the
hold it!
15-meter mark, and they squandered it away. Not practical,
Step
not
out.
sensible. Here's an opportunity again. Let's have a look. Here's just a bit of set play there from or pre-planned from the number 8 and the scrum half. Done well to secure ball again. Big men running at angles. Good to see. Now ball again available for the 3/4. Will they run it from here? Beautifully through. Where's the support? Here's the offload. No ball on the deck. Good counter rucking there, but still St. Peter's with possession. Well done by the 3/4 now. Here's ball on the outside. Opportunity. Is he going to go in the corner? Yes, he is. Try time. Tikshana Disanaika. Well done. Beautiful running angle from him. Second try. Well, he's got pace. Confident from the young fella. And let's have a look on the replay, because he really just saw the gap, saw the two defenders, not quite sure. Here it is again. You just got a bit of a rewind there. But nevertheless, let's have a look at it from here. Look at the number 18 coming in. Sets up ball, he does well. Well, we'll hopefully come back to that. Tikshan Dasnaika scoring his second try, putting St. Peter's in a stronger position. They'd like to go into half-time with a lead, I'm sure, but then the calculations don't matter if the boys can't deliver. 20 minutes gone, 10-3 so far with the corner flag conversion to come. This is at home, and he's already missed 2, so I'm sure he'd like to just get it right. It's about breathing and calming down and doing what you do best, remembering the little things. There he goes. Oh dear, not anywhere near.
Certainly Sivaraj Stephen is not having his legs today, but I wonder why Sandesh Jayawikram, the skipper, is not taking any kicks, Shanu, because he was outstanding. He was one of the kickers last season who scored 50 points. He's got 15 conversion and 5 penalties with a try last season, but I'm still not sure. Maybe next kick he would perhaps going to take that.
Well, yes, I know. He's a skipper. I'm sure the coach is screaming his proverbials off, saying, "Get with the format and start to take the kicks." This has missed 3 kicks, but maybe he might be, carrying a little bit of a niggle. We don't quite know these things, but of course, teams like to go through things. They give chances. They may have a numbers thing where they give the first 3 kicks to somebody. I'm not sure. Plans will change, hopefully, but St. Peter's need to get those little things sorted out quickly.
That restart looks like no one wants to catch that ball, but somehow, lucky enough, Kingswood. Here comes a little scrum off, sending out wide. Here comes the Kingswood attack. Lovely run. Oh, he's almost through. He could have used the space between the 15-meter mark and the line out on his right, but Kingswood, however, still with the ball position, sending out to both the sides. A lovely long cutout pass, 2-on-1 situation, and brilliant offload comes. Excellent work. So both the number 12 scoring from each teams. Kingswood hitting back hard. That's Tarindu Malik Gay.
Wonderful stuff from both sides, really. I mean, on this side, Tikshana Dasanaika gets in on a classic 3/4 move. Just hands, good sharp hands, sharp passing. The zip in the pass is all the difference, and running at a good pace when you collect. And then on the other side of it, Kingswood comes straight back with a fabulous reply. Excellent stuff. Good to see. And at the end of the day, it comes down to, I'm really impressed so far with the first phase rugby. Both these teams are playing, and good to see at the start of the season. So, Tarindu Malik again scoring for Kingswood. Great reply. And I'll tell you, Saabs was also impressed more than I.
Indeed. It's all exciting, putting St. Peter's fans also a little bit of silence on that occasion. If this kick goes through, it's all equal in terms of the score margin. Shivanta Ranavira, the man who made the drop kick. 10 minutes ago. That looks a little short. He didn't have enough direction, although he had a distance. It needs to be a little bit loop in the air, but unfortunate. So the deficit is only 2 points for Kingswood. And looking at the weather condition, it's a really perfect weather condition. The sun is hiding, Shanu.
Yes, I think the boys are loving it because they've been working quite hard. It's been very intense, clear, shearing heat for the last couple of days. 31 plus all the way through. And today it's a muggy, cloudy, windy day in Colombo at Bamalapitia. Perfect conditions. Well, Candy will certainly, or the Kingswood boys will love it. Here's good ball now for Kingswood again. Now confident that they can run at the Pete Wright defense. Having scored that try and seen how much space they can actually gain. Trying to get out of the 22. Was it a sensible kick or not? Quickly up there. And here's the skipper again. Trying to get through, but nobody close enough for the offload. You got to be careful about that when you go into contact. Just make sure there's somebody there next to you. The other side winger perhaps, or the blind side winger should have come across. Kingswood just piling in but missing out on the tackles. Oh dear, the number 17 there. Terrible hands.
Yes, that's Harin Bianwala.
Number 9, you play for the whistle
This
and play
is
for
not what you
advantage.
want, but even St. Peters looks like they don't want to play territory game. They are still trying to make some faces inside their own half. This is what they have to think about, because
We're going this way.
Kingswood, on the other hand, early on this game, when they enter the opposite half, they were trying to kick
Time.
and give away position. But St. Peters, perhaps they should kick into opposite half, and then they should capitalize from there.
Well, absolutely right, Saab, because you've got the wind
Ankle.
behind them, St. Peters, in this first half. They haven't used the wind one jot
Can
so
play.
far. Kingswood, for their part, are just going through the process, trying to get into the corners, perhaps, run their big forwards, give them a break and be able to get into the contact area. It just comes down to some sensible rugby, really. You don't want to try and run your forwards too much, grind them in the ground in the first 25, 30
Road
minutes.
safety first,
Because you
huh?
want their legs and plenty of petrol in the second half, in the last 20 minutes. That's where it's going to count max.
10 points to 8, and we are approaching the 27th
Time
minute of
on.
this game, and it's going to start with a scrum in favor of Kingswood College. A lovely attacking opportunity just inside the
Right, scrum ಮಾಡ್ತಾ steady on ya.
half,
Pura steady
almost
madi
at the 10-meter mark.
Steady karam. Right.
Of course,
Crouch.
we can't forget the coach Anand Kasturia,
Fine.
also known as Castro,
Break.
who's one of the successor for Kingswood College.
So I want the bind here. Not
And
here.
that
Same
scrum
for you.
is not
Here. Scrum up, I'm on this side.
a steady one.
Right.
A
Second
little
scene.
bit of shout
Second
here
scene,
and
please.
there by the front rowers.
Right. Crouch.
Needs to be nice, steady and square.
Bind. Set.
Kishan Shannon,
Steady, steady,
product
steady.
of the number 8 of Kingswood. Wade Sen, pressure coming by St. Peters, a little knock on. Unfortunately, Hishan Shannon could not hold on to that pressure from his opposite number, Avishka Heenpalla.
Come boys, we are going this side. Huh?
That's good sportsmanship. And look at those boots, Shan,
See, cut,
green,
cut.
pink, and are you
Right,
missing
crouch!
those boots in your era?
Bind.
Mate, I wish those boots would go faster
Set.
when we were playing.
Steady,
Well, I
hold
suppose
it,
the neon
hold it.
pink makes you run faster or pass better. Looks good though. You gotta admit, you got the Batman colors out and the Superman chest. Well, what can you say? There you go. Referee says no. Well, turnover ball because they've lost that. St. Peter's guilty of being a little bit casual again.
Indeed, a lucky survival for Kingswood. Hishan
second
Shannon,
scene,
the
second
scrum
scene.
off early on. He missed
Right.
that
Crouch.
early scrum, but this time good
Bind!
pressure showed by Kingswood.
Bind. Set.
Got Ketan Vijay, Madhushan and Lakshan are the front rows.
Fine.
This time again pressure by Heen Pella.
Knock back.
Oh, brilliant work. And a turnover ball. There goes the try scorer. In fact, who scored the try? 2 tries. He was going for his hat-trick. But good tackle coming in. Diath Fernando with the ball, the speedster. But looks like a knock-on that occasion. That pass, Tekshan Disanayake, he came from nowhere. Already scored 2 tries. And St. Peter's made almost 35 meters
Time.
from that scrum. It was overturned.
Kingswood back.
Great pressure put
Kingswood
by
Peter's
the
back.
scrum half Avishka Heen Palla.
Back.
Yes, I think Heen Palla is doing some great scrum work. He's just doing exactly what the doctor ordered. He's hassling his opposite number, just causing him a little bit of grief, just getting in his face,
Blue number
niggling,
15.
hanging out the claw and getting
Blue
the
number
ball out of
15
his
and the
hand,
captain.
dislodged and got a scrum, learned a scrum
Captain.
back for himself. And again, he just ran down his marker and tackled him in possession and managed to get that ball on just a little tap back. Oh, here's something that the referee's seen. He's getting a mark down.
Okay.
Captain's come over to do the
High tackle.
pleading. Is it going to work or not?
Next
Is
time
it
you're
just a
going out,
warning?
make sure nothing goes wrong. Okay.
Yep, I think it's the warning this time. Get away, says the ref.
Wait,
Make
wait.
sure this next time you're
Time
going to get
on.
the yellow card. So here's a perfect opportunity for St.
Time.
Peter's now. They're going to run the line. Nice to see. Hands, big man running for the line underneath the post.
Knock back.
Oh, ball still back. Didn't happen. Long cutout pass. Extra numbers. Should have offloaded earlier. In the corner. Has he scored? Yes, he has. Outstanding try from St. Peter's. That is a hat trick for the young centre. Then he's pumped up, as you can see. He really has got a sharp turn of pace and being rewarded continuously, being in the right place at the right time. Dasanaika scores his 3rd in the first half. Outstanding, and only 30 minutes done, Sabs.
Peter second.
It's just a WOW. Wow. All 3 tries scored by one man.
Yeah, wait.
And I was actually
Time.
surprised that St. Peter's didn't opt to go for that 3 points on that penalty. Instead, they just decided to take the quick tap. They had so much confidence, in fact. And good results, so fruitful. So 15 points to 8 with the conversion to come.
Peters.
But hold on,
Adan reverse
referee is
karam,
having a
adan
word.
try
Referee Pradeep Fernando and Dinkapir is not sure what is that.
Penalty.
No try. Looks like no try. Oh, looks like no try. Why is that? Looks like. All right, Dinkapiri's point at the post. I think at the
So, I mean,
initial
it was a
penalty,
next
someone
time,
have
penalise kulla manga
shown
illedana,
that
okay?
they are going for the post. There you can see the captain Sandesh Javikrama and Dinkapiris. Now one
Time
man
on!
has to take those decisions, not everyone. I thought someone, not sure who made the initial call. Anyway, it's a good call by referee Pradeep Fernando in the far end.
Well, exactly. I mean, you know, that's what you want to see from your refs and your touch judges. And the 3 officials on the park get to play a part in making sure that it's fair play. And if you've done that, if you've nominated, then that's it. And that's what I think the touch judge indicated. So St. Peter's were brought back and the penalty was given from the original point. So here's a chance. And he's got it. So he started kicking now, as you said. Why on earth wasn't he kicking before?
Absolutely, Captain Sandesh Vikrama, but he must be absolutely disappointed. 7 points coming just as a 3-pointer at the end. So it's 13 points to 8. But that was a great officiating by Pradeep Fernando, who saw that the signal was coming from one of the players.
My apologies, 13-8. St. Peter's College 13, Kingswood
We're
College.
just heading to 33rd minute of this game. Still, I would say it's still even Steven, although St. Peter's had a little bit more possession. And the restart. Shivanta Ranavira sending out deep. St. Peter's looks like they lost the ball
First knock forward.
and knocks it on. So another great attacking opportunity in the red zone.
Well, yes, I mean, off that kickoff, St. Peter's terribly guilty of not just cleaning it up and securing good ball. They had plenty of time because there was no Kingswood players up on them. But one player decided to run off on his own. No support coming up for him. And then turnover as well. In the process, there's somebody being clattered. They're lying on the deck. It looks like a Kingswood forward. But St. Peter's have to clean up these little things. Those are the important things. The little things that people don't consider. If you get those little things right, a lot of other things start to work. The basics are so important. Basics, catch, clean, set up, secure ball. So easy to do when you actually play it from the base, and that's what you practice so hard. I'm sure St. Peter's would want to rewind that tape and not have to do that all over again. So here we are in Bamalapitia. Nice sight, muggy day upstairs. I call it the fugly days because you can't see the clouds or the sun or the blue sky. But I'm sure it's up there somewhere. But good to see the crowds turning up. The numbers for St. Peter's. Comfortable chairs. It's a huge step up, of course, from having to stand and watch the game. So the Singer League taking another dimension. I think this season is going to be tough, as Sabit explained. The first weekend itself was absolutely amazing. Trinity versus Wesley could have gone either way. Just that 2 points separating the teams.
Okay, we are going straight, boys.
And then
we are going
Royal
straight.
being surprised by DS as well. You know, it doesn't matter what anybody says about DS coming into that first division. To be able to score points and hold Royal to under 50, I think, is a very good achievement.
It is indeed. That game halftime was 17 points to 10.
Crouch!
But Royal scored a few more tries in the second half. Right, Kingswood with another attacking position. This time another good-looking scrum. Nice, steady and square. The scrum half moves with the ball, and that's another cutout part to their outside channel. There goes the number 11, Imesh Sirivardhana. Changing direction by scrum half, Heshan. Kingswood still with the ball. Very quick balls coming, but they just need to create some space as a big forward going into contact. Switching directions once again. Oh, looks like a turnover. Hands coming in. Brilliant stuff on that occasion by St. Peter's number 20, I guess. Now the game is still with Kingswood. All of a sudden they retain that ball position. Heshan Shannon sending out wide. Oh, looks like an interception coming in by Diat Fernando. But if he is through, no one's going to catch him for sure. Yapa, Hooker Yapa acting as the scrum half on that occasion. Heen Palla. Now Diat Fernando using the shorter side. Good tackle coming by Kingswood. Deshan Amaravira. Referee says play on. Delpachitra this time going into contact. Looks like a turnover coming. Referee Dinkapiri says
offside, 3/4.
coming side. I'm not really sure with that. It looks like he was a tackle assistant and he's straightly coming into the gates, but he's much closer than us.
Yep, true. Of course, you have to give the referee that benefit because he's the closest to the ball. On that occasion, he decided that the tackle assistant was not quite in line or through the gates, as they say. Well, I think Kingswood a little unfortunate to miss out on that one. St. Peter's maybe a little bit lucky, but it'll be sorted out later on. These things have a way of sorting themselves out. Consistency from the ref is what everybody wants. And here's a good talk and walk. Just grind the legs up. Great roller. Beautiful from St. Peter's. Still going. Now he goes down to the deck. Nice clean ball coming back now. Here's a set. Cut out pass or not. Just a sharp, short, good angle. Again, numbers on the outside. They go wide. They go with try time.
Absolutely brilliant work by St. Peter's College. Diat Fernando is the try scorer, the speedster. And like I said at the start, he was the one to look for. He played as a winger last season. No Nishon Pereira or Kevin Dixon as a result. Coach Colin Dinesh trying to take the maximum out of him, playing in the outside center channel. There goes the try scorer, Fernando, with the number 13 jersey on. Great combination, the center combination rather, between Tikshan and Diat so far. Both the centers scoring all 3 tries. And don't forget, the last year between these two teams, it was 13-12, a last minute penalty for Sandesh Jayavikrama to put St. Peter's home.
I'm sure that there is that thought looming or loafing around somewhere in somebody's mind. But having said that, full credit to both teams. They're running the ball well. Oh, dreadful miss. Again, at home. A good angle, the wind behind you. You just need to try and get those things simply right. And the captains probably spent more than 50 to 100 balls every week kicking at these uprights. So a little bit guilty of missing on that occasion. These are the little things that people talk about. These are the little things that you have to get right. The 2 points, last year it was a 1 point difference. This year, could this be the difference? Already about 7 points adrift. St. Peter's missing out on penalties and conversions. And Kingswood, for their part, the most impressive thing here for me is that both 3 quarters are running first phase ball. Beautiful to see, sharp, quick, zip passing, really good angle running, and they're running hard. You saw that wing 3/4 come through. He's playing a center, as Saab was saying from last season. But it's just, he pinned, he saw the gap, and then unfortunately for Kingswood, no drift defense at all, so nobody home, just a full back trying as much as possible to counter a 3-1. Very unfortunate, and that's something that Kingswood will have to work out quickly, because so far all the tries on both sides have been a lack of drift defense.
It is indeed, and also you can purchase all our contents on our website www.ThePapare.com, also on our Facebook page, all the photographs and videos. All you have to do is send an email to editor@thepapare.com, or you can call on the number on your screen, 077330088. And that's not a great restart. Already pressure shows to Kingswood number 10, Shivanta Ranavira, kicking that on the full. Heen Pella feeding the scrum. A good break by number 8. Heen Pella misses, but referee Dinkapiri says knocks back. Oh, lovely step by Diat Fernando. Once again, a prop forward, Lakshana acting as the halfback. There comes Heen Pella, sending it to number 3. That's Lakshana once again. Big forwards. We saw the last driving maul on the far end. Once again playing a little bit compact rugby this time by St. Peter's. They should form a little deeper, especially when they have the ball position, so they can see the space. Looks like a brilliant turnover coming in. No, the ball still with the St. Peter's. Heen Pella goes and looks for the support, but that offload is not a good one. The supportive player, that was, I think, the try scorer. He came like a flash, but he just could not hang on to the ball.
Yes, Sabs, I think Heen Pella had the luxury of having the handoff in position and then a little bit of offload. Here he is again, look at that. He's done absolutely perfect, nicely. Kept the ball shielded away. And where's that offload now? Oh dear, the number 12. I'm not sure what he was thinking really. He was running away from the ball. You need to collect the ball cleanly and then punch the pace. He didn't do that. He was just looking a little bit away. Unfortunately, missed out for sure.
Good pressure by St. Peter's on that scrum. Yes. Very good work by St. Peter's forwards. Great to the front rower, especially the tight head prop on the occasion.
Yeah, same mark. Same mark, boys, we are going straight.
We are just approaching the halfway mark, but the clock on your screen is not the referee's clock that we have. Referee Dinkapiri's time, which is what counts at the end. But perhaps this could be the last play. St. Peter's leading 18 points to 8. Looks like a little bit early movement on that scrum, but lovely work by the number 8 to Heen Pella. There goes the fly half. What a lovely step coming in, and another fend. Get out of my way, says St. Peter's number 10, Sivaraj Stephen, and he scores under the post. That will give some relief for him after missing those 2 kicks. 3 rather.
Well, yes, I mean, that was absolutely fabulous from Stephen. He really saw the little gap, good sidestep, good turn of pace, perfect balance with the ball in his hand. And if you look at this, that's what you want from your good fly half. Look at that, poof, get out of the way. Saw the gap, hits it hard. There's another handoff coming up. He's changed the ball into the other hand, protected, sidestep, done. Boom, nice. 2 big handoffs from the number 10. Outstanding bit of rugby skill. Beautiful individual try. Much courage now for him and the St. Peter's side. Growing in confidence. Referee has blown half-time. Perfect play from St. Peter's to go into half-time.
Absolutely good conversion coming by the skipper Sandesh Jayavikramas. So it's 23 points to 8 in favor of St. Peter's College here at their own grounds. So far St. Peter's scored a 4th tries. I think they already have secured the bonus point, which is a good factor. And as you can see on your screen, it's 25 to 8. Great game played by St. Peter's, playing with much confidence comparing to their last season's display. But there's a lots of work going on in the Kingswood dugout. What would be the message by Coach Castro would be?
Well, of course, it's going to be interesting to see why St. Peter's weren't counted on these occasions. Again, we're talking about those drift defenders, and it looks like the Kingswood 3/4 are just a little bit short on getting up on their man. They seem to be waiting and hesitating. Those 2 handoffs very clear about how they were trying to tackle. Once you put your head down to tackle, make your target, put the marker, and then hit the player. Not try and wait for that handoff. And I think the number 10 showed very clearly how he transferred. He had plenty of time to do it as well. And both players for Kingswood just copped the handoff completely square in the face, which doesn't show a lot of technique. At the time, you got to bend your head and just really hit as hard as you possibly can. So St. Peter's profiting from their skills, from their confidence, and good hands in the first half. The forwards have done a great job in securing ball for themselves. And Kingswood, for their part, when they have possession, look good. But without possession, trying to defend their line, haven't looked good at all, Saab.
All right, 25 points to 8 is the halftime score. And also you can join on our Facebook page, and you can go to the Aqua Vida social media platform, and you can cheer your own squad. You can say who's going to win this game, and you can see the words 61% says St. Peter's and 36% says Kingswood. So go to Aqua Vida Facebook page and vote your cast. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back shortly with the second half action.
Now transact with over 40 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #11# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction. Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash. Money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialog Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialog.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialog.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialogue Television is our window to the world. It brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialogue Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialogue is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialogue. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialogue.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information. Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialogue mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialogue Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialogue, the future today. Now transact with over 40 million EasyCash customers via Dialogue, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #11# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialogue Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialogue.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialogue.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialogue Television is our window to the world. It brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialogue Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialogue is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialogue. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialogue.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information. Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialogue mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialogue Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialogue, the future today.
Welcome back to the live action here at St. Peter's Ground, Bambalapitiya, between the home team St. Peter's versus Kingswood College Kandy. And the halftime score, it's 25 points to 8. in favor of the home team. Already scored 4 tries. And 2 for their centre Thikshana Disanayaka and 1 for the speedster who's playing at outside centre Diath Fernando, and 1 for their fly half Sivaraja Stephen. That's how the 4 tries came for St. Peter's. And also joining me in the commentary box, Chandrashan Pereira, and we have a special guest, Ishan Noor, of course St. Peter's former captain and current CRNFC captain with us as well. What sort of a game that St. Peter's and Kingswood are going to opt, Shanu?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see what they will do in the second half. Kingswood know they've got their work cut out. They've got to get those little things right. We talk about little things and people say, well, what do you mean? It means that those little basic things, the little steps, the little catches, the good passing, the good offloads have to really happen. St. Peter's managed to get that sorted out just towards the end of that first half. They missed out on 2 or 3 certain tries, and so did Kingswood for that matter. But Kingswood, the defense has been really short. I would think maybe 30-40% short on the day. St. Peter's have profited from that. Good line out, good set play. I think set play, it's been fairly even on both sides. And here we go. Let's see what Kingswood will do from their own half. Deciding to go with the basics. Chased down nicely. Good tackle. Excellent. But equally well done by the skipper and fullback for St. Peter's. In the right position there. Still secures good ball. St. Peter's now decide to have a bit of a grind sub. It's going to be interesting to see if they will stick to this grind and grind, or will they start running their 3 quarters, because they've maximum profit from their running.
Yes, indeed. Referee playing advantage now this time around. It was Danish Disanayaka, the prop forward, going into contact, but nicely sending out wide, using the advantage as to maximum. Diath Fernando sending it to the winger. Looks like he knocks it on.
Well, full credit to the Kingswood wing three quarter there. He stayed on his man. Wisely didn't get sucked in on the center 3/4 break. And when the St. Peter's winger was trying to hammer down the side, just made sure he tackled man and ball. And made sure he couldn't pass the ball. That's always a good tackle. Sometimes you make the perfect, beautiful tackle. Hit them sort of waist high. And the offload from the tackle player hits the flyer next to him. So good tackle, and nice to see the thing working as well. 3/4 doing his basics right.
Absolutely well done, Imesh Sirivardhan, the Kingswood winger. That's not the first tackle he made. It's pretty much a saving tackle rather.
He's been busy though. He's had to counter because there's been no drift from his center 3/4 coming through, and he's got stuck with 2 or 3 players at the same time. So this time the luxury of a one-on-one, he stuck to it. Good perfection from him.
Right, crouch!
Kabir is saying the second rows, the left forwards has to bind. This time looks nice and steady. That's a better one.
Steady.
Good pressure coming in by St. Peter's once again.
Big scrum, mate. Really big scrum. Beautiful to see.
Is that the right call, Ishan Noor?
Well, I think the pressure was put mainly by the St. Peter's, but I think they somehow managed to retain the ball back Kingswood. Benefit of the doubt, it goes to Kingswood.
And that's a good opportunity to come out of jail. And Ishan, after watching the first half, it's still early to call who's going to win, but how impressed are you with St. Peter's performance?
Pretty much impressed actually, and even the enthusiasm and the commitment is being shown by the players. Pretty much I love watching school matches because so much into it. We really don't know what will happen, especially in the second half. Kingswood are a strong side, and so do St. Peter's. So let's hope for the best.
2-2. Ishan, of course, plenty of time here, grinding away. He's eaten plenty of grass here at the Pete Wright Bamba turf. Many years of grinding away.
Kingswood back.
Can't forget that really. The blood will always warm up when you see the boys in the colours come out. So good for him to be back here. Referee having a little word.
I think though being on a weekday, there's still a lot of crowd over here, so that shows how much people are actually into school rugby. Pretty interesting, even the game between St. Joseph and St. Thomas's. There was a big crowd actually.
Yes, I think it was a top bill. Everybody expected St. Joseph to step up to the mark, but St. Thomas's still flying high from the initial victory over the famous Pathanians in that sevens. It still looks like they've sort of built a good season, a good pre-season. They got a big coaching staff. Laga, who's coaching Havelocks, is also coaching at St. Thomas's. So their expectations are fairly high, and so far they've lived up to it.
I think they have won the sevens, I think, after 27 years. And of course, Dinesh Kumar, who has been has been done some really good work with the training.
Just to correct that figuration, I think it's 22 years, but anyway, it's a great achievement because no one was expecting St. Thomas to win this year's sevens. But that's a great start, and also the first game against St. Joseph's was also outstanding. So it gives hopes for the Thora camp. And that scrum also again pressure mounting from St. Peter's. Good pressure on that occasion, but looks like I thought initially they are going to play the advantage, but it's going to be another scrum, maybe a line out this time. Yep. Ravi Nyapa, the hooker. So far he had a decent game with his throwing. Nicely taken by Shane Gurusingh, and there comes the weapon, driving maul, looks like a try time. Pick and run, brilliant skills on the occasion.
Hey, no.
Both the Prof was playing real well. Right, that was Delpa Chitra killing the ball, conceding another penalty. Heen Pal at the scrum off, takes it quickly. Oh, he looks like he knocks it on, but referee says not 10 meters.
Very lucky. Sometimes you do that. You need to just go back to what you have as set play. You've gone through these motions pretty much in practice. You know exactly what to do. You're 5 meters from the line. Your big men are going to run. You're going to do a dummy or two. Here we go again. Just feed up. Yep.
Knock back.
Not the plan, not quite, but then try and readjust quickly. Skipper running into traffic. Kingswood all over the place a little bit, not really set up nicely for their defense.
Brilliant turnover, Shan. Brilliant turnover by Kingswood. Will the box kick come into play this time? No, he's opted to send it to the fly half. Shivanta Ranavira and puts that kick into touch. He didn't have much option on that occasion.
Absolutely none. Desperate kick from the number 10 for Kingswood, but does a little bit and gets them out of a huge amount of pressure.
Kingswood.
St. Peter's having a very good scrum. I think they could have opted for a scrum or a line out, but quick tap didn't actually work.
Well, Ishan, I don't think there was much of a plan with that quick tap. He's sort of hoping for somebody to be running hard at the line, but here you go, much better now. Good format.
Brilliant break by Siva, and
that's the try scorer going for the hat trick. I think that's Tikshana Disanayaka.
Well, he's got the hat trick now for sure.
Yeah, last time when he scored the third try, referee called the play back.
Yes, because somebody had nominated the sticks at the penalty position. So right now there's no nomination. Tikshana says, thank you very much. I was going to score the try. And it looked like he might have just offloaded the ball and a good pass, but there was men outside. But nevertheless, strong enough. And that's what he's all about. Look at how strong he is on the run. Good hands. Have a look at it. He collects. He's got about 30 meters of work yet. Ball, two hands, tucks it underneath the arm, looking at the tackler coming across him. Boom. Takes the tackle. Good, powerful leg drive. Try time. Nice to see from the number 12. He's looking like a star so far.
Loads of cushion time for Kingswood camp now. But they still have enough time. Still have more than 30 minutes left in this game. Skipper Sandesh, and he misses wide. It swings out wide, so both the kickers are not really convincing today.
Terrible story, Saab. Very, very poor kicking from the skipper. Knowing that he's got to go against the wind, knowing that he has to get the upright position right, he aims it for the wide upright and then he goes wider. Not really good, and I'm sure the kicking coach for St. Peter's is going to have words with him, because these are those little things that you have to get right. You know, the little W's that you got to tick away. If something happens, like you say, you can be a critical factor later on. Hopefully not. But you are guilty of not getting your little things right.
St. Peter's in a commanding lead, 30 points to 8, and also we are bringing a live action tomorrow between Isipatana College and Dharmaraja College rather. That's at CRNFC, kick-off 4:30 p.m. And that's a very good restart, kicking into deep, but not much pressure for the receiver, Ashan Mendes, I think.
Well, yes, you were saying Kingswood seemed to be strolling to that. They really didn't want to put pressure on the Pete Wright. Here's a chance. Running into traffic. Needs to just set it up clean.
And there goes the big forwards once again coming into contact. Breaks through the defense. That's number 17. Harin Bianwala. Oh, it's a 3-on-1 situation, but the
ball just popped up there and Kingswood still with possession. Here's a chance now for them to snipe something out of the woodwork. The number 9 should have offloaded. Now in trouble. All over the place, very untidy ball for Kingswood. Really is not doing themselves any good at all, because they're just giving St. Peter's opportunity to really clatter them. Where's that support? Nobody there, nobody home. My goodness. So an awful lot of time for the Kingswood blue shirts to arrive. Taken quickly by the scrum half. He's alone, there's nobody there. He's sidestep one. Still got numbers on the outside. Going for the corner flag. Yes, they score.
Wow, this is interesting. I was wondering why they didn't go to that touch in that penalty, but the scrum half, he was almost playing like an Aaron Smith work, taking the quick tap and giving it to number 12, the captain, as he made some few yards, taking 2 into him, and brilliant offload. I'm not sure who scored the try is.
Let's have a look at that. There's that replay of the try being scored. So just a back pass, really. They've been watching lots of rugby, Super Rugby. So wonderful to see from Kingswood. Really coming back strong in the second half. This is what you want. 30 points may look like a formidable total, but one more try and you're in the running, because you're just one score away. So Kingswood looking good straight away.
Yes, indeed. We saw the similar game yesterday. It was 25-10 in the halftime. Then St. Anthony's hitting back with 2 tries. That's Sirivardhana, who's the try scorer, the little winger.
Yeah, he was in perfect position for that offload. Luckily, it went to hand. It was a back pass with no eyes on it, really. Just threw it back, hoping that some blue shirt would be there. And there was Imesh to pick it up and just dart into the corner. So St. Peter's, again, Kingswood looked all over the place in that loose play, but somehow managed to actually, pull something out of the bag and actually finish with a try. So just the fifer. So 30-13, and we're just 12 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, the misconversion. Also, Ishan, are you surprised with the win? Are you against Havelocks on the semi-final Clifford Cup clash, especially after going down twice in the league for Havelocks?
It was never a surprise, actually. We knew, our guys believed that we could win. So that is what we exactly did. We almost came close winning against Kingswood, or rather Candy. But almost win is not good enough for us. So we wanted to go for a win and really happy with the result.
Of course, you have another opportunity coming weekend. Even I spoke to Jason Dissanayaka. He said I asked whether he wants Navy or Candy in the final. He said Candy. And Dongo will be bringing you the live action on that game, as well as St. Peter's knocks it on in the Kingswood half.
Going straight.
Well, yes, the game's gone a little bit quiet, really. Kingswood have just done the initial hard work in the second half. St. Peter's came out with a bit of a flutter, but it's all gone quiet. So it just comes down to leadership now. The skipper needs to talk about what they have to do. They need to look at the small
Seconds,
lines,
seconds.
gain the
Kingswood,
10
seconds.
meters, win the
Right,
set,
crouch!
etc., etc. Kingswood now
Bind!
with their peckers up because they really feel good.
Set!
And they've managed to score against the run of play. Let's see what they come up with from the scrum. Good scrum, St. Peter's.
I think that's kicked on the full. The scrum was taken outside the 22-meter mark, and this fly half Shivanta Ranavira, perhaps he didn't realize that kick needs to keep kicking deep, should bounce and go into touch.
Terrible mistake, really, because you are from
Center.
set place. You're stood there for about good 20-30 seconds, waiting for ball. You can decide what your position is going to be. You know exactly what's going to happen because the scrum half has practiced it so often, and then you just put it into touch. Not good. There's a very quick throw, easily done. Everybody's standing still. Boom! Good tackle.
Hinpala trying to send that ball quick, and Del Pachita looks like another forward pass.
Well, you got two forwards in the line, mate. What do you expect?
Well, you're talking about two forwards in the line. I saw Stuart Hogg running through the forwards for the outstanding try against Ireland in the last weekend Six Nation clash. But here you go, Hinpala, as you can see on the screen.
Number 2, okay?
He's sending to
Can
his
play?
big forward, looks like Rahul Delpachitra. Yes, and that's a forward pass to his support player Ravin Yapa, the hooker, number 2.
Well, the two front row partners, 3-2. One-on-one, he just pops the ball in front of him and says, here you go, mate.
Right, crouch!
That's an opportunity for one to go into contact
Fine.
and one to support him.
Absolutely, would
Set.
have been perfect to see the big man running. But, not to be. Kingswood, the scrum has been atrocious. St. Peter's getting everything right in the scrum department. That is a huge workload for the scrum coach. Wonderful to see the front row
We're going
grinding
straight.
away. And St. Peter's good body angle, everything right, and the shove is on. Fabulous. And Kingswood, also some big digits there, but not getting it right. They're not tight. They're quite getting shoved back quite easily.
Still a
Right,
long
crouch.
way to play. What would be the advice to Kingswood,
Fine.
Ishan? Not for Peters, Kingswood,
Set.
I mean.
I would say I think the line department is doing pretty
Come
well.
again.
So as much as
Ball
as
not
quick as
in.
possible to get the ball
Vice
to the
ball.
line and work from there onwards. And the kicking game is also working unless if they kick it
Come on,
out
Arabatra,
full.
come on.
But other than that, I think they can gain some yards by kicking towards territory.
I'm here, Kingswood.
Absolutely, their line
Right.
team is
Crouch.
really doing well. The backs, we saw
Fine.
that in the concluded sevens tournament as well. They beat
Set.
Trinity College in the quarterfinals.
Steady, steady.
But this time, referee Dinkapiri says steady, steady. And that is a good scrum. Hinpala under pressure. Great work by Kingswood, his opposite number.
Excellent work, really, because number 8 just delayed a little bit and the heel didn't work. Pressure was on, the scrum was going back. Impala under pressure. He didn't know what he was able to do from there, really. He just got caught up and sacrifices and gives a penalty away. So there's a chance for Kingswood to get down the park.
That's a better kick. And also we have another platform. Inform all your events. We are ready to come and cover and put that photographs and videos
Peters not
on
enough.
our
Peters,
popular
Peters.
light.
Peters, gap
You
is not
can
enough.
access on our website and also on the Facebook page.
There you go, man. I thought the ThePapare Live was a radio station, so I thought ThePapare had gone
Peters
into
change.
radio as well.
Who's
Well,
going?
plenty of platforms and lots to look forward to. The ThePapare. You think ThePapare, you think it's everywhere. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. Fabulous stuff. Don't forget, of course, that we cover all the games. Tomorrow's match also live on thepapare.com. And then the big weekend, as Ishan was talking about, Sia
What do you
just
want?
pushing
Line out or
Havelocks
scrum?
out of the way. Havis didn't expect it,
Not straight.
but they did. Ishan and Sia flirted with victory
Mark your boys.
twice against Candy and finally turned it on Havelocks. Good to see. So
Straight.
expect a big final. And that's what we're looking forward to with the Dialogue Clifford Cup knockout.
I'm here.
And here right now for all of you at home and around the world. It's
Right,
St.
crouch.
Peter's at Bamba against
Fine.
Kingswood down from the hills.
Set.
Yes, indeed. And Madhushan Taraka, that line out is not straight. Feeling a little pressure this time. Nicely controlled by St. Peter's number 8. Oh, a knock on. Unfortunate for the hat-trick hero. Deekshana Disanaka had the butterfingers on that occasion.
Yes, I think.
Advantage over.
His eyes probably lit up. He thought, another chance. Nicely done by the skipper. Good play from the fullback, but perhaps the kick should have been better angled.
And the fly half Shivanta kicks that into the open space. And that's that's not a good decision making at all. He was trying to fox his defender who was coming into the action. Sivraj Stephen with the ball in hand. Also he had the support play on his left, but he was trying to be over smart on that occasion.
Yes, I think that little hitch kick jump didn't really work. It only worked for him. And I'm sure the coach will have words with him because he had 1 and 2 against an onslaught of about 3 or 4 defenders coming. One silly mistake and there was Kingswood underneath the post. I'm not sure that Stephen thought about it. He just thought he would try to be a little bit clever and almost guilty of giving it away.
Madhushan with the throw in, this time a better one. Nice and looking good, and here comes the backs now. Once again opting to kick into the open space and giving away position, but the lucky bounce, no.
Oh my goodness, that was so lucky. The ball didn't sit up there. Perfectly deft little kick from the fly half. Wonderful skills from Kingswood. Here we go again, possession. They got numbers. Here we go, they certainly have numbers. He's going to go for the line, he's going to go all the way. Big man running. Oh,
Knock forward, no advantage.
Oh dear. Referee's
Offside.
seen something, he's brought play back. So he's taking advantage. St. Peter's caught. Taken quickly. Kingswood driving for the uprights. Oh dear, not very clean. Stay on your feet is the call. The big man. There he is, the big trundler. He's a big
Number
digit,
15
that boy.
going down.
Looks like a little refrigerator. And he just couldn't stay on his feet. He just fell over and gives away perfect position for a try for Kingswood. Guilty again of not having some format because they were just all over the place. Someone took the try, the tap really quickly, and then they didn't quite know exactly what was happening. So these are those things we talk about, Sabir. When you go through practice, get the situations right.
Indeed, and how unfortunate the Kingswood captain Ravinath Udagala Hitiava. He was almost kissing the whitewash, the try lines, but unfortunately the support play, he was trying to pick and jump through, but he knocks it on that occasion.
On the line is try, mate. On the line is try. So he was just short of that line. Unbelievable. So close, but yet so far. And I think the second, the ball pickup was the guilty party. He just needed to be a little bit more patient. And he just rushed in a bit too much, put his hands down. He obviously saw the line clean and he forgot to catch the ball first. So pick up the ball is more important than scoring the try. Because without the ball, you can't score the try.
23 gone.
Ishan, how happy are you so far looking at this game, and what do you think, especially at the breakdowns, Kingswood has to do, you being a third row player?
They should be working more on the rucks, actually clearing it. Even in this case, they almost missed the try. Probably the rucking was not that
Time
great.
on!
And he was, like Chandashan said, they should have more patience. And in terms of St. Peter's, I think they should be slowing the game off because they're almost coming close to the line. The Kingswoodians, unless they play in their half, it's going to be tough because they are just closing the gap.
And also that initial play before this line out, where the captain almost scored that try, but they just gave away position by kicking to that gap. But lucky enough, the ball bounces in favor of Kingswood.
Yes, man. I think it comes down to those things. Like we talk about it. You're under pressure. You're running towards the line. You've got space. You've got numbers. Why decide to kick away unless it's a really good plan? If you're going to leave it to a 50-50 chance, then you're in trouble. If that ball bounces, the rugby ball is notorious for not bouncing the way you want it to. And that's what Kingswood did. Had they passed the ball in hand, I think it was a definite try.
Fine!
I can see a few St. Peterites are struggling with probably cramps. Chandrasekhar, do you think that they should bring these 20-minute intervals, the water breaks, because of the dehydration and especially the heat, which is really unbearable?
Yes, I mean, you know, we're on a 4:30 start. Today is a very lucky day that the clouds have come over and the wind has picked up. Otherwise, we're looking at 30 plus in the middle, and the dehydration factor is huge. Once they put the boots on and run out again, the temperature in the boots is probably 35. If the temperature upstairs is 30, the temperature in the boot is about 35, and they're cooking. And if you're not dehydrating or rehydrating in the middle, you're in trouble, and you don't get many breaks. There's only bits and pieces of water. So yes, it's sensible because it guarantees quality performance, guarantees the players better endurance. I think I go for that. I'd agree. If you're going to play at 4:30, there you go. Very good scrum. Horrible for Kingswood when you break up like that, because you put that front row under so much pressure. You almost crunch them. You just, you know, paste them down to the ground. They can't be very friendly from the front row forwards. I'm not sure the words I could think of, but I can tell you those are not kind words for the rest of that Kingswood pack.
We are in the last stage. I know it's very hard, but
Shinesh Kaushik, the little number 8 for Kingswood. Entire front row is falling onto him. He's still strong enough. He's controlling the ball at the back of the scrum. Quick tap taken by Sinesh, the man, the very mobile player.
He certainly looks mobile, mate. Wonderful body angle there. Just didn't have anybody to offload the ball to. Nobody tracked with him. Here we go again now. Opportunity. So, still 2 numbers outside him, and he didn't look to pass. Scrum half. Hands. Oh dear. Horrid pass from the scrum half, but you are 10 meters away from the line. Catch the ball. Doesn't matter where it is. Pick it up off the deck, and Kingswood guilty as charged.
I actually thought the captain Ravinath Udagampalapitiya, he did run in the before play, but this time also he could have drawn and passed to his support player. Instead he went into contact.
And also Sabi was running an angle, so gave the drift defense for St. Peter's an easy target because they just clattered into the corner and crowded him out. Little things, again, little things. You know, sometimes you don't want to keep saying it, but if you do those simple things like running straight on that occasion, Kingswood then would have had the luxury of men on the outside, overlap situation, instead of which they gave a scrum away now, and St. Peter's a chance to get away from their goal line. They've decided to crunch it up.
You cannot block like that.
What's that for, referee? Oh, a little bit of
for obstructing. I think 2 Peterite players obstructed and was in front of the ball.
So the pickup and the old All Black handoff drive straight down the middle.
Thinking should build this gradually, and they should have patience. They're almost near the try lines.
They can certainly taste the try line.
And it is a try. And if this kick goes, it's going to be 20 points to 30, which is only a 10 points gap.
A very well deserved try to number 8 Shinesh Kaushik. We are talking about him. He deserves that. Yeah, he's not a big bloke playing as a number 8. Looks like pretty much a hooker.
Well, he's not a tall bloke, but he certainly is wide enough, mate. That is like a mini fridge, you know. And have a look at this. Here's the ball now coming across. Gone to deck, nice clean. Good setup from the good clean out from the Kingswood boys. Scrum half in the right position, and then the big man standing wide. No chance at all. Big turn and nice turn off. Well done. Easy. Nobody tackling him there. No hands on him, so he can turn as much as he wants. Good try for the number 8. You were taking, I mean, he's got good turn of pace. He's not a very big kid, but he runs hard, and that's the good thing about him.
But that's a so poor kick by the captain, Ravinath.
I think place kicks are not working for both teams.
Maybe I think we should have a word with Singer that they come up with some more incentive for good place kicking. And that might just change the league all round.
But actually, place kicking plays a huge role actually these days, especially in terms of even in club rugby, you see Most of the time goes for the 3 points. It accumulates, and at the end of the day, it results and it turns to points.
Absolutely, mate. Those little W's are so important. The little 2-pointers, the little 3-pointers that you get. You know, if you get those lined up and it all adds up at the end of the day, and then the last 3 or 5 minutes can be anything. If this goes along to form so far and Kingswood score again, then it becomes a very close game, and anything is possible. Then it really does come down to, you know, the laws of the average, the laws of average, and all that stuff. All those things that stats calculate actually start to happen in the middle.
And that is a very good kick under pressure. Good box kick by the scrum half Heshan Shannon, the brother of the try scorer, the number 8 Shannon Veerasekara.
Well, good to have the two brothers playing, mate. Always nice to have your brother in the side. Perfect understanding between the two. You look for each other as well in the middle.
Robin Yapa with the throw-in, nicely collected, but referee says perhaps closing the gap. Extra numbers maybe. Taken it quickly. Looks like a little high tackle, is it?
Hey.
I think so. He just went, you know, it looked like he was just trying to shoulder charge him. He went over the top and he didn't really attempt to tackle. He just looked like he was just going to hit him with the shoulder. And then the player ducked underneath him. The warning is clear. A little grin from the offender, and he's away. And a chance now for St. Peter's. They're going to go down the line. Sensible from the skipper. All right, did this touch a Kingswood hand? Yes, it's a 5-meter scrum because it touched a hand on the way there. So terrible, terrible error from Kingswood. All they had to do was catch it. Now, these are those little things I was talking about. The simple basics must always be executed perfect. You do that, everything else works. Sab?
Indeed, you had to expect the unexpected on that occasion. All the kicks won't find the touch, but you have been a winger. What would be your thoughts when you're getting the penalty kick by your opposition team?
Well, you got to be in the position really quickly. You see, take the wind consideration. And Kingswood was just idling. That's what they were doing. They were not taking their positions. The winger should have been standing on the touchline. The fullback should have been fairly close because he's already shown the intention. I'm going to go for the kick. Everybody crowd. The people who are the catchers get there. Don't do what Kingswood just did and idle and pretend that the ball is not going to come to you. Expect the ball to come to you. That's the whole. That's the story. That's the rule. That's like the unwritten code.
Fine.
And what a great attacking scrum for St. Peter's to put another try on board as Heen Pella feeds. Lovely control, moving nicely. Looks like, is it a knock on?
Criminal offence. Scrum going forward, you're shoving the opposition back, you're on the try line and you knock the ball forward. My goodness.
I think that's the number 8, Senura Premavardhana, who knocks it on. Initially, he was controlling it nicely, that scrum moving 2 to 3 meters forward.
Patience, mate, patience.
Right, crouch.
You can't have enough of that.
Fine.
They must be thinking if the backs can score try, why not forward? This time, Kingswood has time to come out of jail, but this scrum under tremendous pressure. A very good kick coming under pressure. Was taken by the winger.
Not very good play from that. I think it was the replacement player there. He decided to go into contact. Nobody there to support him.
No.
Should have really got away and turned over ball. Even worse from Kingswood because that player had turned his back on the pass. What was he thinking? And if St. Peter's score from here, they have, yes, I think he's going to go. Tikshana. Go all the way, mate. There you go. Terrible error from Kingswood. Gift a try to St. Peter's. And the try scorer now scoring his quad. But he's also cramping up, which is a terrible sign. Means that they're lacking salt. They need to just up the level of salt in their blood really, really quickly. Get on the rehydrate, and of course in Sri Lanka we hit the Jeevani really quickly. So there's plenty of Jeevani for him, because look at him driving on his home turf. Beautiful, good turn of pace, big man running strong. Nice to see. He's around the outside easily, and then pins his ears back and goes for underneath the post. Well done, good try.
Well. Thekshana Disanayake scored 4 tries. That is enough for St. Peter's to get the bonus point. He just beat Ruchira Ekanayake on that far end. He was running across, waiting for the fend. But what a way to bring this 6 tries so far by St. Peter's. And this time the kick looks not good, so it still stands at 35 points to 18. We still have well over 6 minutes to play.
Yes, we do, and 35-18. If Kingswood score really quickly, there's a chance that they will just get their confidence up and try and strike this line. If they don't, well, St. Peter's are very much in charge. But having said that, the kicking today all over, on both sides really, has been very, very poor, and that's something that both schools will have to consider.
It is indeed. Now you can see the body language of some players. Looks like they have already given up, and that restart was taken once again by Ravi Nyapa, I think. Looks like almost thought that's a turnover, but St. Peter still managed to keep that ball position. Pella, good to see he's playing most of the minute here. Made some lovely decision. And that is taken by Sinish, the try scorer for Kingswood. And referee Dinkapiri stops play. I'm not sure.
Time.
Referee, it was a shrill whistle there for something. Let's have a look.
I think a yellow card coming to number 6. Or number 17 rather. That's Harin Bianwala. Let's ask Ishan Noor, what was that for? Is it a shoulder charge or a high tackle?
Probably not putting his arms around, I suppose.
I think that was it, Ishan. The player just bent.
No, it is actually a high tackle. Yeah.
So referee's right on the button there. And St. Peter's, well, that was the number 8, full of confidence, picked up, decided to drive down the line. Nice to see, but nobody's supporting him close enough. The clatter was not quite legal, and referee says penalty, and here's the line out from there. Let's hope they get it right. Oh dear, that tap is just so dangerous.
Scrappy ball once again.
Horrible.
That's a knock on.
When you do that, you just put your sides under so much pressure. You've got good, clean line-out ball to catch and give, and you whack it back, and anything's possible.
And I don't think the forwards like the scrums, especially the Kingswoodians, because they are going back with the scrums.
Well, exactly. Exactly. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to work out. If your scrum's going back, why go back to there? Just give your scrum boys a chance to be able to run in the loose a little bit more, win the line-out because they can.
Fine!
Well, we sound like experts, don't we?
They're absorbing a lot of pressure, so it's really painful for their legs. Working the line out. Thekshana once again. Trying to offload, but not working right. Too many mistakes. I mean, both sides, especially with their handling. A lot of handling errors. Kicks to touch. That's a really good kick by Kingswood. And St. Peter's is under tremendous pressure.
Well, don't be guided by the clock on screen, because that is not an indication. It's the referee's clock that decides everything the referees watch. So we are simply just providing a guide and an indicator. There's been stoppage time, and the referee adds that all up between the match marshal and the ref. They decide what time will finally, and it's the referee's watch that decides eventually. So that's just to make sure that you don't get a little bit more of your nervous energy up by saying, why, we should have finished, it should have. No. Don't be guided. St. Peter's looking good. Good clearance. Taken quickly. Perfectly legal. Well done. Good call from Kingswood. Have they got the numbers? Yes, they have. Oh, he's through. Where's the offload? Just couldn't get there. He didn't have the numbers. Looking dangerous, the number 8. Still on. Third phase coming up. Oh! Well, referee lets it go, but I felt the crunch.
Once again opting to kick and give away ball position. We saw this in the very first half, but that is terrible. But referee Dean Kapiris, I think he missed that high tackle on the occasion.
I think so too. We might just try and grab a replay of that because that looked fairly high. The player was going down as well. He was on the way down and the tackle was fairly harsh. I think the touch judge is going back to that and it'll be a penalty in a different position.
Yellow 22. Yellow 22.
He's calling the player up. Is there going to be another yellow card?
Yellow 22.
Oh dear, yes.
Looks like that's number 22, Pramod Dilshan.
13 versus 15, mate.
High tackle again.
I think the referees and the assistant referees have done a good job on this game. Earlier we saw Pradeep Fernando coming and giving information. This is what you have to do. Sometimes the linesmen, the assistant referees are so fragile to give a decision.
Absolutely, and there should be no worry about doing that at all. They should be very clever and quick. Well, it looked harsher than we thought, but nevertheless it was high. So 13 against 15 in Kingswood. What have they decided to do? They should have just kept it in the hands, instead of which they decide to a little pop over the top and chase. I'm not sure, Sabs.
We also have to decide the man of the match, but before we go that, we are not forgetting all our younger sports athletes. All you can do is log on to ThePapare.com. We have our special page for that, also on the Facebook page. You can see all the junior actions on that as well. So St. Peter's winning that line out. In fact, it's their line out. There goes the 4-try scorer. He's a clear nomination for the man of the match performance today. But coming sideways, St. Peter's. Quick tap being taken by Kingswood. That's the hooker going into contact, Madhushan.
They can smell the line, mate. Kingswood can smell the line. Is it it's another penalty?
I can smell a penalty try coming in if they cause another mistake, another infringement in that defensive line.
Kingswood gonna grind it. Boom! Just sucking the numbers. They got 13 against 15. They just need to make sure that they get those numbers wide. If they suck as many defenders in and then go wide, here's a chance. There's nobody there. Kingswood in all sorts of bother now. Good defense from St. Peter's.
No!
Still, Kingswood have the ball possession. Excellent defense, like you said, Shan. That's Ravin Yapa. And there goes Kingswood. Can they score one more try to at least to make it a consolation try, a consolation win, something to remember in this game? Take from. Oh, clever defense. See work by St. Peter's on that occasion.
Knock forward.
Good defense from St. Peter's with 13 players on the park. Absolute desperation from Kingswood trying to get to that try line. They just needed to be a lot more disciplined with ball in hand, having the superior numbers. I think they forgot that entirely, and that's what happens under pressure. You put so much pressure on yourself. All they had to do was secure, suck in as many Pete Wright defenders, and then swing the ball as wide, because you got 13 against 15.
Exactly, Pete Wrights came with a really good win, but they will have to work, especially with their line kicking and kicking to goal. Also the Kingswood as well, and of course they are handling. They have a lot of handling errors. We cannot afford, especially with the other schools, especially with St. Thomas, will be a very big good fight. I don't know about the other teams, but I saw St. Thomas is playing. I think they have some big guys over there.
Well, last year between these two schools, it was 13 points to 12. St. Peter's winning that, but this is a much convincing win, 35 points to 18. And also we have decided that 4-try scorer as our man of the match. That is Tikshana Disanayaka. And your final thoughts and words on this game, Shan?
Well, there you go. I mean, good opener for St. Peter's, playing at home. A few little things to sort out, as Ishan was saying. They need to get those little things sorted out. The departments have to be the set departments. The set play must be absolutely clinical. And I'm sure Colin Dinesh, the coach, knows exactly what to do with that. St. Peter's, good win, good for morale, good for confidence, good belief and boost. Kingswood didn't look the part really. They had shades of looking really sharp, but not consistent enough. And the defense wasn't strong enough today. So, good game for those of you watching with us. Thank you very much for the company. It really is wonderful. It is nice. The light has dipped considerably, but nevertheless, good to see the scoreline, 35-18. Plenty of tries on offer, and that's what you want from your school sides, to come out, run as much, grind a little, but run as much as you can and get some tries on the board. We saw a lot of that.
Absolutely, that's a great running rugby for the 80 minutes that we witnessed, and we'll bring you the key stats of this game. And also just want to mention, we are bringing you tomorrow's game, Isipatana College versus Dharmaraja College. That's happening at CRNFC grounds, 4:30 kickoff. And do join us for the live action from 4:15 onwards. And also we'll be bringing back the Dialogue Clifford Cup finals between Candy Sports Club and CRNFC at the Racecourse grounds from 4 p.m. onwards on Saturday. We'll bring you the key stats as soon as possible. Yeah, here we go at your screen. St. Peter's 35-18, the final score. As you can see, Shan, 6 tries, 1 conversion and a penalty to 3 tries and a 1 drop goal. That drop goal was quite surprising too.
Certainly was, and it looked like it was going to be a big platform set up for the Kingswood, but they did sort of flitted away from there. They couldn't really get that defense line sorted out. They couldn't get the set play and win their scrums, and it was really tough going for the Kingswood scrum. The Pete Wright 8 were excellent. The Boiler House boys had really done their homework. Their positional play, their body positions in the scrum, outstanding. So all credit to the scrum coach, but the 6 tries versus 3, that says it all. That really does say it all. Means that St. Peter's showed the intention to run and score, and they did that with much efficiency in the center 3 quarters, which is nice to see, because that's something that, St. Peter's have had pride in the center 3-quarter line, and it has always been one of those things. So they're building on that again. Tikshana Dasanaiga, the man of the match. Well, he's a good find, mate. He's a very good find.
Absolutely, indeed. Scoring 4 tries. What a good start he's having. He scored 20 points out of those 35 points. And also, we are talking about the Schools Rugby League. The coming weekend, there's no school games due to the Easter weekend, Easter Sunday. And St. Peter's, of course, will be playing their next game against Science College. That will be an interesting game. And for the time being, that's all we have from here at the Bamalapedia St. Peter's ground. St. Peter's winning convincingly. And we'll be back with tomorrow's live actions. Thank you, Chandrashan Pereira, and thank you, Ishan Noor, for joining us in the commentary box. And I'm Sabir Kadir signing off for ThePapare.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
Now transact with over 40 million EasyCash customers via Dialogue, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111 to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialogue Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialogue.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialogue.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialogue Television is our window to the world. It brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialogue Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialogue is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialogue. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialogue.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information.
Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialogue mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialogue Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialogue, the future